Let's start immediately. I'm going to start by looking at what we did yesterday. In case if you did not join us yesterday, we introduced by telling us that Python is a high-level programming language, and we looked at variables. So you can see here, this is variables. We wrote our first program in Python, and that program is print hello world, and you can see the way it is here. So inside our console, we say to run any file. Say we want to run this file, variable.py, so that we can see what this print hello world is talking about. We'll simply say Python variable.py. So that's how we do that. So once you type that and you press the enter key, you can see it run. You can see the hello world. But we run other codes. That's why we are having this. So we say that variables are placeholders for values. Variables are placeholders for value. You can see that that's the definition of variables. And we say that variable names are case sensitive. That means that age is not the same thing as capital letter age. And we say that variable name can start with letters or underscore and can also contain numbers. We wrote these codes line by line yesterday because we don't want to do copy and pasting. We want to do everything physically. And we looked at variable like name. Any variable that is a collection of letters enclosed in quotes or numbers enclosed in quotes, we call the data type string. Or if the value of the variable is just a number, it is integer. If it is a decimal point, it is a float. If it is true or false, it is boolean. It is a collection of values in log brackets, it is a list. Or if it is a collection of key value pairs in curly bracket, it is dictionary. It is collection of values in normal bracket, it is a tuple. And today we're going to be looking at tuple because yesterday we looked at strings. And we said to get something to the console, simply say print. And we can actually perform normal mathematical calculation by declaring these variables x equal to 20, y equal to 3. You can simply say z equal to x plus y and we'll print z as the addition. So we can also do casting. We want to convert this initial x value to a string. You can see that x is an integer. We want to convert it to a string. You can simply say string x. If you have a string already like this y 3.5, anything that is enclosed in single quotes is a string, single or double quote. Want to convert it to an integer, we'll simply say int y. And if you want to convert an integer to a float, simply say float, then you put the value of the variable name of the integer. Those are the things we looked at. Immediately after that, please can you hear me with your earpiece? Immediately after that, we looked at string, and under strings, we said that strings are iterables or collection of letters and numbers enclosed in either single or double quotes. So you can see this is a string, and the variable name is name. And I also to install the following extensions: Prettier, bracket regularizer, and live server. And also chat me up so that I can add you up to the WhatsApp group where you can be getting our updates. And I also told us that if you want to get bash, like you can look at my terminal. My terminal is using bash. This is bash. You open your own, you might be seeing PowerShell or Python. If you want to get bash, you simply copy this very code that this line of string that I have. Go to your what's it called? Settings. Click here on settings and go to the JSON part of the settings and paste this code. Then off your close your VS Code and on it back again. Then you start having bash as your terminal so that you can follow up effectively. So if you have, say, my name is equal to Augustine Emeka, you can print it out. You can change everything to uppercase by simply saying .upper. You can change everything to lowercase by simply saying .lower. You can change everything to capitalize by simply saying the name of the string .capitalize. You can also concatenate using the plus sign. You can also do the F-string formatting. You You can do swap case. Just mention the name of the string dot swap case. You can do get length. Just say length, and inside bracket put the length, put the name of the variable, name of the string, and it will do that. You can replace a particular collection of string by another one by using the replace. You can also count how many number of a particular letter in a string using count. You can check whether a string starts with a particular collection of letters. You can check whether it ends with it. You can split a string and find the position of the string. You can check whether the string is all alphanumeric, whether it's just alphabetic, or whether it's numeric. So those were the things we did yesterday, and today we are going to go even further. So I hope you follow through. So today we're going to be creating a new file. So to create a new file, simply go to your Python tutorial. I want everybody to follow suit. So this is where you create new file. Simply click here, and I'm going to say tuple.py. That's what we're looking at today, tuple.py. So that is the file we're working on today. So we're working on tuple.py. So you can see once you type in the name and you press the enter key, it's going to come up here. Once it comes up here, you can now start writing code. But I'm going to write a comment first. I don't want to start with a code. So I'll start with a comment telling us what a tuple is. So what is a tuple? A tuple is simply a collection. Who is doing that? A tuple is a collection which is ordered. Who is doing that? So a tuple is a collection which is ordered, and at the same time it is actually changeable. So you can order this collection or this list, and it is also changeable. Also, it's very, very important to note that a tuple also allows duplicate members. So you can have members repeated. So a tuple allows duplicate members. So we're going to be looking at how do we create a tuple. We're going to be creating our first tuple. How do we create a sorry, we are supposed to actually look at list first before we look at tuple. So I think I'm getting this mixed up. So we are supposed to look at list first before we look at. Please, who is making the noise? So please, let's get to new file again. So let's start with list first. So let's have our list.py. So do we have list.py now? So let's have list.py. So let's start with list. After list, we get to tuple. Because tuple is not actually changeable. So a tuple is unchangeable, but list is actually changeable. So we just had a mix-up. Yeah. So a list is a collection which is ordered and changeable and allows for duplicate. And let's focus on list first. Then after list, we can get to tuple. So how do we create a list? How do we create a list? So we're going to be looking at list. So let's say we have this list. We are declaring a variable ages. We want to collect the ages of people. So to create a list, you use what we call the block bracket. So ages of people can be 10, can be 20, can be 35, can be 40, can be 50. So those are the ages. So once you have collection of ordered values like this, we call it a list. So this is a list. Then if we get back to tuple, so I think I can combine this together. How do we create a tuple? Let's combine list and tuple together as we are learning the both of them together. So how do we create a tuple? So we can also have a tuple of, you use tuple when you don't want to change. In list, you can always change this. You can change this 40 that we have here, this value of 40 to 50 later. But if you're using tuple, you cannot change. So let's say you have something like fruits tuple. So you say equal to, if you're creating a tuple, it has to be now inside a normal bracket. So if you're having fruits like, what fruits do we have? We can have apple. We can have orange. What else can we have? Apple, orange, and what other thing can we have? Can you give me another name of any other fruit? Mango. Mango. So make sure you include, if the value is strings, make sure you put them in single or double quote. So this is an example of a tuple. So tuple, check out the curly bracket that we have. For tuple, you have curly bracket, whereas for list, it is block bracket. So it's very, very important that we get this. So let's get back to the list. So this is our list. So let's continue with this list. So this is our list of edges. So we're also going to have list of colors. So let's have list of colors. Somebody should get me the colors that we have. What are the colors that we have? Red, good. We have red. Since they are strings, it has to be in quotes. What other color do we have? Yellow. Yeah. So make sure they are in quotes. What others? Blue. What other color do we have? Green. Good. So you can see that these are collection of values. Whenever you're having collection of values, you can make it to be either a list, a tuple, or a dictionary. You make it a list if they are gonna be changeable. If they are not gonna be changeable, let it be tuple. If they are key value pairs, let it be dictionary. So we're gonna be moving further. There are other ways you can use in creating lists using a constructor. So the one we just did now is using the normal way of creating the list. So if you want to use a constructor, so let me get this written down in form of a comment. So can actually use a constructor to create a list. And to use a constructor to create a list, you simply say, let's say we want to still create these edges again. So let's create these edges again. So we can simply say edges, but this time edges 2. Want to create this, you can simply say edges 2 equal to list. This time around, we're going to use the keyword list. But anytime you use the keyword list, instead of using the normal block bracket, we are now simply going to use double of the normal brackets, not the block brackets. Then we're going to put in the values. So I still have 10, I still have 20, I still have 35, I still have 40, and I still have 50. So you can see that this list and this list are actually the same. And to check it out, we are going to try to print them out. So to print them out, I'm going to simply say print. The first list is edges. So I'm going to print out edges. So let me print out edges and see what it is. So I say Control S to save. So once I've saved, I'm going to go down and How do I run it? Somebody should tell me how I should run it from what we did yesterday. How do I run this list? Yeah. Type what? Python. Okay. Space what? The name of the file, which is what? List dot what? Py. That's how you run your code in Python. So once I see that, you can see that it brought out the list ages, which is actually 10, 20, 35, 40, 50. So let me now run this. Let me print the second one, which is ages 2, isn't it? The one that we created by saying ages 2. So let me run that one too. So if I simply say print what, then in bracket I put what? Ages what? 2. Print in bracket ages 2. Then I do what? I have to save, isn't it? So once I save, I come back to my bash and I will say what? Python list.py and press the enter key. You can see that both of them are looking exactly the same because those are the two ways of creating lists, by using the normal way, block brackets, or using the constructor by using the keyword list. Class, is that clear? Is that clear? Can we move forward? Yeah, if you're having any issue, you should simply ask me question. Please make sure as you're entering the class that you're muting yourself so that you will not disturb the class when you enter. Please make sure that you're on mute. Make sure that you are on mute. Is everybody seeing me? Can you see me? Everybody can see me, but because when I normally see Ibrahim, I'm seeing Ibrahim in my own. Are you seeing me? Okay. Okay, now I'm seeing Kasmir on my own. I hope everybody is seeing me. Kasmir, are you seeing me? Fortune, you are seeing me. So let's continue. Okay, but I want to, okay. Let me take this here so that it doesn't disturb me. Yeah. So if you're ready, then let's continue. Is everybody ready? So said that a list is a collection which are ordered and changeable. That means you can actually change the value. When we say changeable, you can change the value of 40 to 80 later. You can change this blue to gray later. That's what we mean by changeable. You understand? If we have this collection and we cannot change this blue to yellow later, then we'll call it tuple. Call it what? Tuple is unchangeable. So you're going to find out that when you start doing algorithms and data structures, you're going to be using all these basic data structures. You're going to make the choice of using a tuple or a list when you have collection of values. You understand? So that's why you know about the two of them. If you're working with values that can change, you use a list. If you're working with values that you don't want them to change, you want them to remain constant. You understand? If you establish the names of your students, you don't want to change it ever, then you can use tuple. Is that clear? Kashmir, is that clear? Ibrahim, is it very clear? Good. So let's continue with knowing the functions that could be performed, other functions that can be performed using a tuple. Now we can actually get the length, or you can get the value of a particular age at a particular point. So let's work with colors this time, since we've worked with variable age. So let's do this. Let's try to do what? Get a value. You want to get a particular value. Let's say you want to get this yellow or blue. So how do you do that? So you can simply do that. We want to print it out so that we can see what we are doing. So we simply say print. Then we'll now perform the function, and the function simply here is colors, the name of the variable you're looking at, colors. Then in block brackets, you cannot put the index of the value you want to fetch. So let's say we want to fetch colors at value 2. Let's fetch colors at value 2. So how do we do that? So this is the code you are supposed to write, colors at value 2. So you can see all the colors that have red, yellow, blue, green. Who can tell me the color that is at index 2? Blue, isn't it? Because we all know that the index starts from what? 0. So red is at index 0, yellow is at index 1, so blue is at index 2. So to prove this, I'm going to save this my work and I'm going to come here and run what? How do I run class? How do I run? I'll say what? Python space what? List.py. List is the name of the file. List.py. Then I press the enter key. So I can see that it's blue. Can I see blue there? Can you see blue on your console? So if we change this to 1, what will you see? If we change the index to 1 and do Control X, and we'll come back and run. What do we see there now? What am I supposed to see? Yellow, isn't it? So is it clear now? So that is how you print out the value at a particular index. That's how you do that. So let's continue. So the next thing we are going to do is to print the length of color, this variable colors. And length simply means the number of values. So what is the number of values in colors? We have 1, 2, 3, and what? 4. So to do that, so I'm going to say get length is the method that we want to use. So we're going to try to get length. So to write the code, we are going to print it out so that we can see it. So I'm going to simply print out the what? Length of what? Then put the name of the variable we're looking at. So which variable are we looking at? Which variable? Colors, thank you. Length of color. So once we've done this, I can simply say Control S, then I come back here to run it by simply saying Python space this.py. So you can see that the length is 4 because we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it? So if let's say I want to include another color now, which color do I include now? Give me another color. Gray, Abi? So I have gray now. If I save now and go and rerun, it should be 5. These four that we have in my console should change to 5. So should I try and rerun it? Let me try and rerun it and see. You can see now it is 5 because there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that clear? Class, are we understanding this? Okay. Is there light? Check whether there's still light. Okay, there's still light. Check my light just went out. Tell the person. Yeah, so we're still there. So let's look at another function called append. So we're going to be looking at append to list. Append to list. That's the next function we are looking at. If we want to append, like these are the values this list have: red, yellow, blue, green, gray. We want to append another value. So how do we do that? So how do we append? We simply say color.append. Very simple. The syntax of Python is very easy. That's why Python is so sweet to learn. So once you say color dot, you can even say it here because I'm using a code completion. You can see the append is already here. So if I say color dot append, then in brackets you put that very thing you want to append to the list. We already have yellow, green, red. So what color do I append now? White, my favorite color. So let me append my favorite color, which is what? White. So that makes now you have something added up. You can actually do this when you are using list. So if I reprint out my colors now, you are going to see that my colors is not going to stop in where it stopped before. So let's print colors again. We say print, then in brackets we say what? Colors. So let's print it out again. Let me go to my console and rerun. So you can see my colors now. How many things is it having? It's now having red. You can see red here, yellow, blue, green, gray, and white. Because I just appended white to it. So that's how you add up more things, because we say that we can change a list. So this was the initial declaration of the list, but now we're able to add up more things to the list. We are adding white, a special value to the list. So let's append another thing. Apart from white, let's try and append another thing. So I go down again and paste this very cool. Then change this white to what? Let me change it to black. Black is also my other favorite color. So if I now save and rerun this, you will see that we are gonna see black added up here. So let me rerun this by saying Python space list.py. You can see now we now have black added. I hope you are following. Are we following? Good. So now we are gonna do more operations, more string operations. And the next thing we are going to look at is remove from list. That's the next thing we are going to look at. So let's look at remove from list. So how do we remove from list? How do we remove from list? So we can actually remove from list by using the keyword remove. So once you say the name of the variable, which is colors dot remove, and remove from list. So let me say colors dot remove. So that okay. So our network temporarily went out, but we are back now. I hope everybody can hear me. So I said to remove a value from a list, you simply say that name of the list dot remove. Then you put the value you want. So I just removed blue. So that's why this is the list I had last, but in the succeeding one there is no blue. Just have red, yellow, green, gray. So blue has gone out because I just removed blue. So that's how you remove from a list. So let's perform the next action, which is inserting into a position. You want to insert into a particular position. Insert into a particular position. We want to insert a value into a particular position. That's what we are looking at now. So how do we do that? We simply do by saying the name of the variable dot insert, and specify the position and specify what you want to insert. So the name of the variable here is what? Colors, isn't it? So we say dot insert. So we'll now put a bracket. Then we'll make mention of the position we want to say. Let's say we want to insert at index 3. So we'll say 3, then we'll say comma. Then what do we want to insert at index 3? So let's now insert back that blue that we removed at index 3. So we say blue. So that's the string we want to insert, blue. can see I'm using double quotes. Sometimes I use single quotes sometimes to tell you that you can actually use either single quote or double quote. So if I save this, blue is back in. So if I copy this print color and reprint color again after inserting back blue. So if I have Control S, then I go back and run this code again, get to my terminal and simply type in what? What do you run with? What do you run with? Python space list.py. So you can see that blue is back. Can you see blue here? Blue is back again, and it's at index 3. I specify the index. How do you know that this is index 3? Because if you count, red is at index 0, yellow is at 1, green is at 2, so blue is at 3. So that's how you insert in a particular position. Please, I'm going to drop, if you're viewing us on YouTube, simply go to YouTube and type Tclassified.com. All the codes I'm writing, I'm going to drop a copy in the description part of our YouTube channel. That's where you get our codes. We will always drop it there so that you can have all our codes and use them anytime you want. So next thing we are going to look at is change a value. If you want to change the value of a particular value in a list, how do you do that? So let's look at change a value. So everything that I'm writing and I prefix it with hash is because I want to write a comment. You use comment to make your code readable. So how do you change a value? Simply change a value by mentioning the name of the list. So once you mention the name, you simply put inside a block bracket the index of the value you want to change. So let's say we want to change yellow this time around. You can see yellow here. I want to change this yellow to, which color can I change it to? Pink, isn't it? So yellow is at index what class? 1, isn't it? It's at index 1. So I'll now put 1 because that's where yellow is. So what do I want to change yellow with? I want to change it with what? Pink. So I write that pink. So if I now print out the list colors now, we'll see that yellow has been changed to pink. So I'll come here and say print colors again. If I save and I get back to my console and run the code again, I will see, you see, in place of this yellow now, we are having pink. Class, I hope you're enjoying this class. Are you? Is it very clear? We are bringing it down to the low list level so that everybody can follow up, so let's continue. So what is the next thing we are going to be looking? We're going to be looking at remove with pop. We want to remove something with pop. That's what we're going to be looking at now. So I'm going to say list. I'm going to say remove with pop. So we want to use the command pop to remove. That's what we want to do. And to do that, what do? We simply make mention of the name of the list and say dot pop. So the list we are using is what? Colors dot what? Pop. Then in bracket, put the what's it called? So let's say we say 2, which is the index. You understand? If we now say copy this print colors again and put it here to reprint our colors, we'll save and rerun. We'll save and rerun. What do we see? So we can now see that here we have we had red, pink, green, but now we are no longer having green. Why are we no longer having green? Ibrahim, can you tell me why we are no longer having green? Because we removed it using what? Pop, isn't it? Because green is at index 2, isn't it? This is red is at index 1, 2 for pink. Green is at 2. But when we did pop 2, we removed it, so we are no longer having green. So what is the next method we are going to be checking? Reverse list. So that's the next method we are going to be checking. So we are going to be checking reverse list. We want to reverse a list. So how do we do this? Simply say the name of the list we want to reverse dot reverse. You see the what's it called? The syntax are so easy. What you want to do, just mention that same thing in English. That's what it stands for. So we simply say what? Colors dot reverse. Very simple. So make sure that you always put this bracket at the end. You put brackets for a function. These are methods. These are all list methods. So once you write a method name, you must put brackets. That's how you call a function in Python. So if we reverse this list, what are we supposed to see? So look at what the output is. Let's also copy this the print command and reprint our list. We'll do Ctrl S to save. So once we save, we'll go ahead and do what? Run it by saying Python list.py. So we are now seeing, can you see how the reverse is done? We had red, pink, blue. I'm talking from the console. So check the console. What we had before was red, pink, blue, gray, white, black. But in this one now, we are starting now from what? Black, white, gray. Can you see that? So that is how you reverse. So we're going to look at the next string list operation known as sorting. Want to sort a list. So to do that, we simply say, I'm going to use a comment again. So we're trying to do what? Sort a what? List. So how do we sort a list? Just the same way. Mention the name of the list, which is colors, isn't it? Dot what? Sort. It's as simple as that. So anything you want to do in Python, they are all very easy because we said when we were introducing, we said the syntax of Python is very close to the normal English language. So that makes it very, very easy. So that's how we sort. So if we sorted this out now, let's see what it will look like by printing out the list again. So I'm copying the print command for the colors. Then I'm gonna save. Then I'm gonna come down here and rerun the code. So when I rerun the code, you can see this is sorted out. So you can see that there is also another form of rearrangement. But for us to get sorting very well, let's try it out with edges. You can see edges that we have. Let's come back to our edges. Let's go up. Let's have our edges as 2. Then we have 20. We have 6. Then we have 50. Then let's have 89. Then finally, let's have 3. So that's the edges that we have. You understand? So let's try to sort this so that we can arrange it in either ascending order or descending order. So if I save this my new edges now, and I come down here and sort it by saying what? Edges dot what? How do I sort it? Edges dot what? Sort. Very simple. Edges dot sort. Then make sure I put this bracket in the end. Then I will now come back here and do what? Print edges again. So if I want, I can say print what? In bracket, I will now say what? Edges. So the sorted edges, that's what I want to be printed as. So if I do Ctrl S to save, and I come back here and rerun by saying Python bracket list.py, you can see now that my edges are sorted. Instead of it being what it was, you can see there was 2 before 20, before 6, before 40. If you look at what was sorted out, this is the edges I had: 2, 20, 6, 40, 50, 89, 3. But look at what was sorted out. We now have 2, 3, 6. It was sorted out the way it should be, and from the least to the maximum. So that's what sorting does, and you're supposed to know it. Then apart from normal sorting, there's what we call reverse sorting. If you don't want it to start from the smallest to the biggest, want it to start from the biggest to the smallest, you do what we call reverse sort. You do what we call what? Reverse sort. And that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at what? Reverse sort. So we want to sort in another direction. That's what we mean in that. So to sort edges in another direction, I simply say what? What should I say if I want to reverse sort? I simply say edges dot sort again. Edges dot sort. But this time around, how do I want to sort? I simply say what? Reverse equal to true. Reverse equal to what? True, because I want to do reverse sort. So if I do this and now reprint my edges again, I'm going to see this sorting done. So let me reprint my edges again. So if I say Control S, I should be able to save this. So once I'm done saving, I should be able to come down to my console and run it again. And you can see that it is now reverse sorted. So we have 89 down to 2 again. So those are the actions that could be performed in a string. And we're going to be rounding up now so that in the evening we can look at tuple in details and now move on to dictionary and other data types. If you have any questions, let's ask our question. Put down so that we can close. What's the time now? Okay, 45. So we still have time. So audience that are not around, if you have any questions to ask, maybe we can take some questions. But if we don't have questions, maybe we should just go over to Tuple and continue with Tuple. So let's get back to our Tuple. We just finished list since we still have time because we want to make sure that we exhaust our 1 hour. We want to make sure that we exhaust our 1 hour. So let's look at Tuple. I would say that tuple is a collection which is what? Ordered and unchangeable. In tuple, you cannot change. For the list, you can change. After declaring your list of fruits, you can add up this. We are having only apple, orange, and mango. You can add up banana and other things. So how do we create another tuple? Let's create a tuple of colors again. This is a tuple of list. So let's create a tuple of colors by saying colors equal to. There are other ways of creating tuple by using the what? Using the keyword, isn't it? So what the keyword? What's the keyword? Tuple, isn't it? Then we'll now use double brackets, isn't it? Then inside it, we'll now list out what we want. Abi? So what are the things we are going to be listing? What are the colors? Let's still go with red. Abi? What's the next color? Yellow. Always in quotes. Give me the next color. Green. What's the next color? Blue. So let's stop there for now, isn't it? Let's stop there so that we can see the manipulations that are possible. So these are the lists that we have. So we can quickly print it out. How do we print it out? By saying what? Print and in bracket what? Mention the name, which is what? Colors. So if we do Control S to save this, then we can now run it. So how do we run? You can see in console we are having our list. So we'll now say what? Python what? Tuple, that's the name of the file. Tuple. Tuple dot what? Py. You can see that we now have what? Red, yellow, green, and blue. Just the normal way the tuple is as in this root. But now we use the keyword to create it. Is that clear? Can we continue? Can we continue? So if you have a tuple that has only one value, after writing that tuple, that one value, please put a comma. So let's say you have fruit here. This is the tuple that we have. If you say that these fruits actually have only one value, so let's say we have another tuple, fruit 2. It has only oranges. How do you indicate orange? If it is for list, you will just say oranges alone. But if it is for tuple, you're going to say orange and you put a comma. There has to be a trailing comma. Is that clear? If it's having just one value, there has to be a trailing comma. But here we're having plenty value, so there's no need for trailing comma. But if your tuple is going to be having only one value, make sure that you put a trailing comma. Are we clear on that? So now let's perform the values of a tuple. Let's perform the method. So the first one we're going to be looking at is getting the value at a particular index. And to do that, what do we do? So we can simply say get a value. We want to get a value at a particular index. How do we do that? Just the same way that we've been doing. Simply say print what? In bracket, we say what? The name of the tuple. What tuple are we looking at? What tuple are we looking at? Colors. So in bracket, we now put the index. So which one do we want to print? The one at index what? Index 2, which is green, isn't it? So let's put 2. Then let's what? Control S to save. Then we'll print it out. So if we print it out, what are we gonna see? I'm gonna come here and do what? Run the code. So there's an error. Name colors is not defined because the spelling of my colors is not right here. So I'm gonna quickly put what? O. So make sure you know how to read your errors when you see them. So I'm gonna say Control S again to save. So once I save again, I'm gonna be able to do what? Rerun. So if I rerun, you can see it now. Green is printed out. Can you see where green is? Green is here. So this first print. We are printing a color at the index of 2, and that is green. And this is the second print color. That means print all of them the way they are, and that is red, yellow, green, and blue. So what next do? We can actually delete a tuple. We can do what? Delete a tuple. So that's the next thing we are going to do. So let's delete a tuple. So if I come down here and say what? Delete a tuple. So let's delete this fruit 2 that we have here. You can see that we have fruit 2 there. So how do you delete? By using the keyword what? Del. By using the keyword what? Del. So we simply say fruit 2. So if we do Control X, now fruit 2 is gone. So let's try to print this fruit 2 that we've deleted and see what it will tell us. Since we've deleted it, you can simply say print in bracket what? Fruits 2. You know we earlier deleted it, but let's try to print what we deleted. So if we go to the console and run this very code, you can see it's telling us what? Name fruit 2 is not defined because fruit 2 has gone out already. So you cannot print out what you don't have. So let's look at the next thing, which is what? Get length. Let's get the length. And I told you that length simply means what? What did I say length was? The number of what? Values, isn't it? The number of elements inside a string. So let's say these are tuple colors. The number is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is what we want to do. So we simply say what? Get what? Length. So how do we get length? How do we get length? So I'm going to print it out so that we can be able to see by saying print. And to get length, you use the keyword len. Then in brackets, you put what you want to print is length. And this time around, we're looking at what? Colors, isn't it? So I'll save this and I'll come here and run it. So if I run it, you can see, okay, let's take this out that we tried to do here so that it doesn't affect these are our fruits too. Let's take it out so that it doesn't affect our subsequent codes by, let me comment it out. Yeah, so I can now do Control S and rerun. I did Control S, so I'm going to rerun this code. So you can see that the length is 4 because we are having red, yellow, green, and blue, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why the length is 4. So those are the things we are going to be looking at. So we've been able to do that. So the next thing we are going to be looking at, set. We are going to be looking at what? Set. Do we continue or do we go for break and come back? Let's continue, over. So let's look at what? Set. Let's look at what? So to create this new file set, what do? We simply come here again, new file, we type what? Set.what? Py, isn't it? Then we'll press the enter key. So this is where we write about our set. So a set is a collection which is unordered. All this collection will be mentioning. We said that all of them are ordered, but this set is what? Unordered and unindexed. It's not ordered and it's not indexed. And there should be no duplicate members. We see that in list and tuple we have duplicate member, but here we don't have it. So how do we define a set? Everybody, help me define a set. Define a set for me. A what? A set is a what? Collection which is what? Unordered and what? Unindexed. Isn't it? So another thing that we say about a set is that what? No what? No duplicate what? Members. Cannot duplicate. Cannot have two yellows at the same time in a set. Is that clear? So how do we create a set? How do we create a set? That's the first thing we do. So we try to what? Create a set. So we simply create a set by saying just the normal way that we would have done for dictionary, a curly bracket. You understand? That's how we do for a set. So simply, what set are we going to be creating? Let's create the what? Colors underscore what? Set. That's the set we want to create. So colors underscore set, we are going to use the what? Curly bracket. For set is curly bracket, just the same way we have for dictionary is curly bracket. But in dictionary, we have key value pairs. Is that clear? Yeah, we don't have key value pairs. This is unordered. So what are the colors that we have? Class, help me, give me colors. We're also going to have red, Abby. So which other color do we have? Yellow. Which other color do we have? Green. Which other color do we have?
Blue.
Green and what? White. So let's stop here. So these are the colors that we have, isn't it? So we've created this set. So let's quickly print it out. So to do that, we'll simply say print what? Colors are underscore what? Set. Please unmute your this thing. Who is Kashmir? You just unmute your work so that you don't disturb my class. So let's print color set. So if I say Control S, and where I'm running it, what should I type now? What should I type? Python space what? Good. Set.py. Thank you. You guys are really picking up. Okay. So you can see that I have an error, indentation error, and I told you that Python indentation is so important. So I have to click back on this my colors and bring it back. Let it be on the same line as the comment. If you don't do that, it will not work because indentation is very, very important in Python. So I'm gonna say Python set.py. So what other error am I having? Line forward, full stop. So we get back, you can see where we put an extra full stop, which is wrong. So we're gonna take it out. We're going to do what? Save again and try to run again. So you can see it is now working. So whenever you make errors, it's not going to work, but it's going to tell you where the errors are. So you have to have the ability to debug. So you can see our sets. We are seeing our sets. Sets are in coily brackets. They are in coily brackets. So let's look at what are the function things we can do. We can check if something is in a set. Let's check if something is in a set. That's what we're going to be doing now. Check if in sets. Want to check if something is in a set. So how do we do that? It's simply, let me print it out so that we can see what we are doing. So if I say print, I will now say, I want to check whether yellow is in this set. You can see that yellow is actually in the set. So if I say yellow, I'm asking, is yellow in the set? What set are we looking at? Color set, isn't it? Color what?
Not set.
And you can see it's coming out here, so I can just click on it. So that's why it's good to use VS Code. VS Code can actually help you complete the code. So if I now do Control S to save this, and I come back and run it. So if yellow is in the set, it's gonna tell me true. If it's not, it's gonna tell me false. So if I run now, you can see true. Can you see true? So that means it checked it and there is yellow, and that's why we have to. Let's say we checked black, and you know black is not in our set. So let's say I checked for black. So Control S to save. Please off your volumes, mute yourself so that it will not be disturbing the class. So if I go back and run again, we are expected to see false. So you can see false here because there is no black in our set. Are we together? Abdomen, is it clear? Ibrahim, is it clear?
Yes.
Fortune, is it clear? Israel, is it clear? Kashmir, is it clear? Zainab is just joined. It might not be clear for Zainab. I hope you're closer to somebody that is doing the right thing so that you'll be following up. So let's check the next thing, which is add to set. That's the next thing we do. Add. Next thing we'll do is add to set. So we want to add something to the set. Let's say we have red, yellow, green, white already. So we want to add. So we're going to see whether we can add to this set. So how do we add? We simply say the name of the variable and say dot add. So what's the name? Colors what? Underscore set, isn't it? Dot what? Add. So what do we want to add? So let's say we add, we have red, yellow, green, white. Let's add what? Pink. Let's add what? Pink. So if we add pink and say Control S to save, now good. If we add pink, now if we reprint our set, let's see what we have. So I'm going to copy this for reprinting set and reprint it and say Control S. If I save it and run again, let me see the set I'm having now. So you can see now we have pink added. Can you see pink? It's now added. So we can also remove. So to remove, I simply, to move faster, my time is almost up. I don't want us to spend more than 1 hour. So I'll just press it here and change this add to what? Remove. Then change this color set dot add. It's going to be now color set dot what? Remove. So if I remove and reprint again, pink should go out. So if I save, Control S to save, then I come back here and do what? Rerun. The print has gone out. You can see no more pink again. So what other set methods do we look at? We can look at add duplicate. We can actually add duplicate members. So if we try to add duplicate, it will not run. If you try to add duplicate, it will not do what? Run. Let's say we have, can you see we have red already? So let's add another red. So this is addition code. Let me just get this addition code. If I copy it down here and put it here, you can see I added pink. I later removed it. So let me add something that was already there. So if I come here and put yellow is already there. So if I say Ctrl S to save and I try to run this code, I will see what the error is. So if I run this code again, so I added yellow, add duplicate. Let me specify it. Please, that person that is leaving his volume, please make sure your volume is not there. So add duplicate to a set. We have yellow, so we're trying to add another yellow. So if I save, and I run my set.py, see, it's not adding, it's still remaining at where it was before. So you cannot actually add a duplicate, you cannot have two yellows at the same time. So another thing we can do is that we can do what? We can clear a set. We can do what? We can clear a set. So how do we clear a set? By simply saying the name.clear. So what's the name of this set? Colors what? Underscore set. So we say dot what? Clear. Then we put the normal bracket. So this is going to clear this set. So if we clear this set and now try to print it again, is it going to print? It's going to print, but the inside will be what? Empty. So if I now reprint this colors underscore set, let's try and print it. If I do Ctrl S to save this code, then I'm going to run it now. If I run it, you can see set, empty set. You can see there, set is now an empty set. Nothing is coming out. So finally, let's look at delete a set. If I delete this set, I want us to tell me the difference between clearing a set and deleting a set. So we use keyword del. Then after saying del, we'll put the name of the set we want to delete, which is actually colors underscore set. So that's what we want to delete. So let's try to print this set out after deleting it. Colors underscore set. Okay, Bukwe Odinaka is raising his hand. So I'll take your question once I'm done. So we just deleted this set. So after deleting it, I want to now do what? Print colors underscore set again after deleting it. So let's see the impact. If I do Ctrl S to save, then I come down here and do what? Run it. Okay. Del colors. Where is my mistake from? Can't delete function call. Oh, sorry. Is this not a function? I'm deleting a set. I'm just saying delete. So it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be brackets. So if I save back again and run, then okay, color set not defined. Why am I getting color set not defined? Who can tell me that why I'm getting color set not defined?
Because it's color set, it's color underscore set, not color set.
Okay.
The underscore is not there.
Because what? Let me
The
get
underscore is not there. You did not put the underscore sign there. You only wrote color set. It's meant to be color underscore set.
Okay, but that's what I'm having here. Color underscore set. Color underscore set.
Yes, in that line.
Okay. So which line don't I have color underscore set?
So you did not put that underscore sign in that on inside that your deal, the delete line.
Okay. This is my delete line.
Okay, you just put it
Colors.
now. In
Okay, I
it.
just put it now. Okay. Yeah, but even after putting it, I'm seeing this error. That's why I'm asking. Okay, maybe I've not saved, and I have to save and then do what? Rerun. Okay, so I saved and rerun, and I'm still seeing the error. So
Okay.
please, class, I want somebody to debug this code.
Yeah,
So is this element?
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me,
you.
sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. The other person. Let me get
It's
your.
because you've deleted the color underscore set.
Okay, that's why
Yes, you've deleted.
I cannot print it again, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you. So that's the answer to that. I hope everybody followed that. Fortune, do you understand what he just said? Because I've already deleted it. We tried this in when we did list, isn't it? After deleting, when we tried to print it, I said it's not defined. You understand? Because it's actually saying it as if they said that very variable has gone out already. So why are you trying to use variable so it's no longer defined? Is that clear? So that's why we are going to be wrapping it up. So please, 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 every time that I teach, we are on Facebook Live. You can always see me on Facebook Live. The name of my Facebook is Augustine Ekene Emeka. So if you're having problem with your Zoom, send me a friend request immediately. I'm going to add you up so that you can always follow up on Facebook Live, or you can also send the contacts to your friends. We are having Python from scratch. We are developing from scratch to commercial level. We're going to be building an inventory for supermarkets at the end of this lesson. And we also said we are having a 3-part lesson. This week is Python. Next week is WordPress, web design, SEO optimization, how to make money using your web. Then the third week is going to be Flutter, how to do mobile apps with Flutter. Once we are done, we are going to be conducting an interview. We want to pick a junior developer with the salary structure. We have salary of 100,000 for the person. So if we conduct the interview and any of you are able to pass very well, then we'll add you to our group. And you can also join us from anywhere. You can work remotely, provided you can deliver. And it's actually the stacks that I'm teaching you now. That's what I'm going to be interviewing you on. I'm not going to interview you on Java or any other language. It's going to be on Python, Flutter, HTML, CSS, and the use of the content management system WordPress to create websites. So if you have any questions, you join up in the evening. Ask me your questions in the evening. And in the evening, we're going to be looking at dictionaries. We're going to be venturing into functions and the rest. We want to be able to wrap up by Thursday so that by Friday, we'll be working on our inventory project. We're going to be looking at how to look at connecting databases to our TK Enter GUI, which we'll be using to build our inventory. Yeah. So my Facebook Live ID is Augustine Ekene Emeka. Once you search for Augustine Ekene Emeka, you will see me there. Send me a friend request. I'll add you up so that you can follow up on anywhere you want to follow up. Yeah. Iboku was raising his hand before. Do you still have a question?
Yes, I wanted to ask the difference between that delete and clear.
Good.
The difference between the delete syntax and the clear syntax.
Okay. When you say when you say clear, the set is still there, but nothing is inside. It doesn't have any value, no elements again. All this red, yellow. If you're looking at my console, you see where I'm showing it. All these red, yellow, white, they are no longer there. This when we deleted and we printed out, we saw this empty set this. But when you delete and say print, you cannot even print out again because the whole set is destroyed and taken out of memory. But when you say clear, you're just clearing the elements, those yellow, white, green, and the rest of them. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, what time is the meeting tonight? Also.
Okay. This evening is 4 o'clock, 4 to 5. We're having just one hour, 10 to 11 for morning.
Okay.
Then evening is 4 to 5.
Okay. And this will be the same meeting ID and password.
Yeah, the same meeting ID and password. We are using consistent meeting ID and password so that we don't put people in trouble trying to connect us.
Okay, no problem, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, any further questions before I round up?
Sorry, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, on the list, I missed out somewhere.
Okay.
That's a dot sort. That's reverse.
Dot sort.
That's reverse sort.
Okay.
Reverse sort.
Okay.
Then the a dot sort reverse equals true.
Good.
Then print. Is it print reverse or print underscore
ages.
reverse? Okay,
No.
it's just print ages.
Just print the
Okay,
normal, the variable name.
Okay,
Once
because you've
done the
already
reverse,
programmed the reverse.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. God bless you. I'm going to be signing off now. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Wait
sir.
for me in the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.